What if I told you that your presence here right now is no accident? That something beyond logic has brought you to these words, in this exact moment of your life. You may think you clicked on this video by chance, but the truth is deeper. It is as if an invisible thread has been guiding you, pulling you toward a revelation you were meant to hear. And that revelation begins here. There are moments in life when everything seems to align, when you feel you are standing at the edge of something greater, as if a hidden door is about to open. Yet, just when you are closest to breakthrough, something inside of you hesitates, whispers doubts, and casts shadows over your light. That hesitation is not weakness, it is not failure. It is a secret adversary, one so subtle and familiar that most people never even realize it is there. And this adversary has been shaping your choices, your emotions, and even your destiny. Imagine how many dreams have died just one step away from becoming real. How many people gave up when abundance was already within reach? How often have you stopped yourself not because the world closed its doors, but because your own mind whispered, "What if I am not ready? What if I don't deserve it? What if I fail?" This inner voice has stolen more victories than any external obstacle ever could. And it is not random. It appears at the exact moment when you are closest to transformation. But here lies the secret. This enemy is not here to destroy you. It exists to be understood, to be faced, to be transcended. The same shadow that tries to hold you back also carries the key to your liberation. Once you recognize its true nature, you will not only silence its whispers, you will use its presence to rise even higher than before. Stay with me until the end of this video, because what I am about to reveal has the power to change the way you see yourself, your challenges, and your future. If you allow these words to reach you, if you open your mind and your heart, you will discover that what you have been waiting for has been waiting for you all along. And once you see it, you cannot unsee it. The truth has a way of breaking through, and tonight, it is reaching for you. Have you ever felt that strange and unexplainable sensation that just when everything seems about to finally work, something invisible rises up and begins to push against you? It could be the perfect job opportunity, the love you always wanted, the business idea that could change your life, or simply that long-awaited moment of peace within yourself. And yet, in the silence between one heartbeat and the next, doubts begin to whisper, fears start to crawl, and hesitation takes over your mind like shadows spreading across a wall. This is not a coincidence. It is not weakness. It is not bad luck. It is something far more powerful and subtle. And if you stay with me until the end, you will finally understand why this happens and how you can break free. Think about it. How many times in your life have you been one step away from something extraordinary, only to feel a wave of anxiety, insecurity, or even sudden exhaustion? Maybe you convinced yourself that it wasn't the right time, that you weren't ready, that maybe you were aiming too high. But what if those thoughts didn't really come from you? What if they were part of an ancient mechanism, a hidden adversary that awakens inside every human being at the exact moment when transformation is closest? Imagine a miner digging for diamonds. He works for days, months, maybe even years, sweating, exhausted, tired of believing. And then, just one swing of the pickaxe away from finding the treasure, he gives up. History is filled with stories like this, of men and women who abandoned their dreams just before success revealed itself. And maybe, without realizing, you too have stopped one step away from your own breakthrough. Why does this happen so often? Why does the human mind seem to betray us at the edge of our greatest victories? The truth is that there is a psychological and even spiritual shadow that lives within each of us. A hidden adversary that does not appear when we are idle, stagnant, or lost, but when we are about to rise, when the path to victory begins to shine. It is at that moment that the adversary awakens, because your subconscious hates change. Even if your conscious mind dreams of abundance, freedom, and joy, your deeper layers are programmed to cling to what is familiar, even if that familiar state is suffering, scarcity, or limitation. Can you see the paradox? The very moment when you are closest to the life you want is also the moment when your inner shadows fight the hardest to keep you where you are. You may think this is just fear, but fear is only the surface. What hides beneath are ancient voices, old beliefs, inherited wounds that whisper inside your bloodline and your memory. You are not worthy. Success belongs to others. Stay small, stay safe, stay invisible. Where do these voices come from? Why do they echo in us even when everything around us suggests the opposite? And more importantly, what can you do when they rise to silence your progress? Many traditions have tried to explain this mystery. Religions speak of a devil, a tempter that appears to lead us astray. Psychologists describe an unconscious shadow, the repressed side of our own mind. Mystics talk about trials before initiation, the last test before enlightenment. What if all of them were speaking about the same phenomenon but in different languages? The adversary is not a creature outside of you. It is a mirror inside you. It is the hidden tension between who you are today and who you are destined to become. And maybe you have already felt this mirror without knowing, the sudden tightness in your chest when an opportunity comes. The voice that says, "You don't have enough experience, you don't have enough money, you don't have enough time." The weight that makes your body heavy, your heart anxious, your sleep restless, just when something greater is within reach. Have you noticed how this resistance never appears when you are far from your goals, but always when you are closest? That is not a coincidence. It is the pattern of the adversary. Let me ask you, what would your life look like today if you had ignored that voice even once? If you had continued, even trembling, even afraid, even uncertain? How many doors could have opened if you had walked forward one more step, instead of turning back? This reflection is not meant to bring regret, but awareness, because once you see the pattern, you cannot unsee it. And when the adversary tries again, you will know, this is the sign that I am close. But why does the adversary act this way? Why does it wait until the last moment to strike? Because your inner system is designed to preserve what is known. To the subconscious, safety is not happiness, it is familiarity. The known pain is less terrifying than the unknown joy. That is why the adversary will let you dream, plan, and prepare. But when you actually begin to cross the threshold, it resists. It floods you with fear, doubt, guilt, or shame to pull you back into the comfort of what you already know. This is not evil, it is survival. But survival and destiny are not the same. And if you wish to live your destiny, you must learn to walk through the fear instead of retreating from it. Now take a moment and imagine yourself standing at the threshold of something extraordinary. Maybe it is financial freedom, maybe it is love, maybe it is spiritual awakening. And then imagine the adversary rising, the doubts, the excuses, the hesitation. Can you see how this very moment is not a curse but a confirmation? It means you are close, closer than ever before. The adversary only awakens when victory is near. That is the secret. What feels like resistance is actually proof that you are on the right path. But how can you defeat this adversary? How can you prevent it from stealing your future again? That is the question we will begin to answer. And as we move forward, you will discover that the solution is not in fighting the adversary, but in understanding it. Because what you resist persists, but what you recognize loses its power. So stay with me, because the next revelation will open your eyes to something even deeper. The true nature of this adversary, a force that has been named and feared for centuries, but whose secret meaning will change everything you think you know. And once you see it, nothing in your life will ever feel the same again. Have you ever noticed that the greatest battles are not the ones happening outside, but the ones unfolding silently inside your own mind? Just when life places something precious within reach, a quiet storm begins to rise within you. It does not arrive with loud noise, but with subtle whispers. What if this is too much for me? What if I am not ready? What if I lose everything? These whispers feel like your own voice. Yet they are echoes of a deeper adversary that most people never truly recognize. This adversary does not wear a face. It does not live in the world around you. It hides in the invisible space between your thoughts and your feelings, waiting for the exact moment to appear. And strangely, it only appears when you are closest to breaking through. Think back to a time when you almost succeeded but stopped yourself. Maybe you saved money and then spent it on something meaningless, just when you were about to invest in your dream. Maybe you finally met someone who could have changed your life, but you pulled back, afraid of being hurt again. Or perhaps you had the chance to speak, to share your ideas, but silence seemed safer. These are not accidents. These are patterns. And once you see them, you cannot pretend they do not exist anymore. The adversary feeds on hesitation. It grows stronger every time you retreat. It wants you to believe that comfort is safety, but comfort can also be a prison. Ask yourself, how many opportunities have passed in front of you while you stood on the edge, convincing yourself to wait for a better moment? How many times did that better moment never arrive? That is not coincidence. It is the shadow at work, holding you back, pulling you down when your spirit is ready to rise. And here is the paradox. The stronger the resistance you feel, the closer you are to something truly transformative. Let me share a story. There was once a man who dreamed of creating his own business. He worked nights, planned carefully, and every step brought him closer. But when the time came to register the company, he froze. The thought of responsibility terrified him. He told himself it was not the right time. Weeks became months and months became years. His dream remained alive in his mind, but dead in his hands. What really stopped him? Not money, not resources, not skill. It was the whisper of the adversary convincing him he was not ready. And yet, the truth is that readiness is never given. It is chosen. The moment you decide to act despite fear is the moment you prove to yourself that you were always ready. Now I ask you, how many times has your own adversary whispered in your ear? How many times has it convinced you to stop digging when the treasure was just one step away? If you feel this, it is because you are human. Every person who ever grew, every person who ever achieved, every person who ever awakened had to face this same shadow. You are not weak for hearing it. You are strong for recognizing it. And if you are hearing it now, it is because you are closer than ever to a turning point. And here is where the suspense becomes truth. This adversary that appears to stop you is actually the greatest sign that you are on the right path. The doubt is not proof that you are lost. It is proof that you are near. Because resistance only rises when transformation is close. That fear you feel is not a wall, it is a doorway. If you step through, you claim what was always meant to be yours. If you turn back, you will meet the same cycle again and again until you finally break it. So I want you to do something very important right now. If you feel that this message is speaking directly to your soul, if you feel that you are tired of retreating and ready to step through that invisible doorway, I want you to declare it openly. Write in the comments right now, I am ready. Say it with conviction, because by writing it you are not just leaving words. You are declaring to yourself, to your subconscious, and to the universe that you are choosing to rise. This is your first act of breaking the adversary's pattern. Do it now, because hesitation is exactly what the shadow wants. And for those who feel this calling, there is one more step. Look to the corner of this screen. Do you see the red button? Only the chosen will have the courage to click it. Only the chosen will decide to join this path of awakening. Click the red button and subscribe now, because that small act is more than a click. It is a symbol of your decision to move forward. Only the chosen will do it, and only the chosen will be blessed with the strength to continue the journey. For centuries, human beings have tried to explain why the greatest struggles we face are often invisible, unfolding not in the outside world, but in the hidden corners of our minds and hearts. Religions gave this adversary names, myths, and faces. Philosophers described it as the battle between reason and chaos. Psychologists revealed it as the unconscious shadow, the repressed part of our being that we pretend does not exist. But what if all these explanations are fragments of the same truth? What if the adversary is not a monster outside of us, but a mirror within us, reflecting everything we fear, everything we avoid, and everything we deny? Consider how powerful this is. The moment you decide to change, the moment you dare to step beyond your limits, this shadow rises with full force. It is almost as if it waits silently for the exact second when you are about to evolve, and then it attacks with whispers of fear and paralysis. Why does this happen? Because transformation threatens the balance of the inner world. Growth means death to the old self, and the old self does not want to die. Have you ever felt this conflict, as if two versions of you were fighting for the right to exist? Think about the last time you were about to take a risk. Your heart beat faster. Your chest tightened. Your breath became shallow. Was this a sign of danger or a sign of evolution? The body reacts to change as if it were a threat, even when that change is exactly what your soul desires. Fear becomes a disguise worn by growth. But how many of us recognize that truth in the moment? How often do we run away from the very thing that was about to set us free? Pause for a moment and ask yourself, what is fear protecting you from right now? Is it protecting you from failure? Or is it protecting you from the responsibility of success? There are countless stories of people who stood at the edge of greatness and turned away. A writer who never published the book hidden in their drawer. An inventor who stopped refining the machine that could have changed lives. A woman who found love but pushed it away because past pain whispered that joy could not be trusted. These are not isolated stories. They are reflections of a universal law. The adversary always strikes hardest when the light is closest to breaking through the dark. But here is a revelation that may surprise you. The adversary is not purely destructive. Its presence is proof that you are walking the right path. If you are not close to something significant, it would remain asleep. Resistance only appears when it matters. What would it mean for your life if you saw fear, doubt, and hesitation, not as signs to stop, but as confirmations that you are almost there? Now imagine this differently. What if the adversary was not an enemy, but a teacher? Every whisper of doubt would then be a lesson. Every surge of fear a challenge meant to strengthen you. Would you still run from it? Or would you face it with curiosity, even gratitude? This is where ancient wisdom and modern science begin to touch. Helena Blavatsky wrote about the duality of the human soul, describing it as a battlefield between light and shadow. Jung expanded on this, showing that integration of the shadow leads to wholeness. And today, neuroscience confirms that our brains are wired to resist change, even positive change, because the subconscious prefers what is familiar. The mystery is not in the existence of resistance, but in how we respond to it. Will we obey the voice of fear, or will we see it as the signal that victory is near? Take a breath here. Reflect for a moment. How many times in your life have you mistaken the sign of fear as a warning to stop, when in truth it was a signal to go forward? How different would your story be if you had walked through that doorway instead of turning back? Let us look even deeper. Every culture has stories of initiation, moments when a person must face trials before receiving wisdom. The adversary is the trial. It asks, are you willing to let go of the old version of yourself? Are you ready to hold the weight of a bigger destiny? And only those who answer with courage pass through to the other side. What if your current struggle is not a punishment, but an initiation waiting for your response? Think about this. What if everything you fear losing is nothing compared to what is waiting to be gained? What if the adversary knows this, and its only weapon is to keep you blind to your own potential? Now let me give you an image. Picture a locked door standing in front of you. Behind it, everything you have ever desired: abundance, love, peace, fulfillment. The adversary is the guardian of that door. It does not want you to pass easily. It tries to convince you that the key does not exist, that you are not strong enough to hold what lies beyond. But here is the truth. The key has always been in your hands. The only question is whether you will dare to use it. But can you feel the weight of this question? Because once you use the key, you cannot go back to who you were. That is why the adversary makes the lock seem impossible. It is not trying to stop you from failing. It is testing if you are ready to succeed. What happens if you choose not to turn the key? You will walk in circles. The same doubts, the same excuses, the same regrets will follow you year after year. But the moment you decide to face the adversary, the circle breaks. And what lies beyond is not just achievement, but transformation. So I ask you, what door is standing in front of you right now? What excuses are whispering in your mind? And are you willing to see those excuses for what they really are? Shadows at the threshold, nothing more. Remember this, the adversary is not proof that you cannot win. It is proof that you are close to winning. Every time it rises, it announces that something greater is near. The question is whether you will retreat or whether you will step forward into the unknown. Stay with me, because the journey is not ending here. The next part will reveal a power hidden inside you, a power greater than fear, greater than thought, greater even than the adversary itself. And once you discover this force, you will understand why every shadow in your life has been preparing you for this moment. In every age, mystics and seekers have spoken of a hidden force within the human being, a power often ignored yet infinitely stronger than the stream of thoughts that fill the mind. Science has only recently begun to confirm what the ancients always knew. The human heart radiates an electromagnetic field up to 60 times stronger than the brain. This invisible field extends meters beyond your body, touching and influencing the energy of everyone around you. But here is the surprising part. It is not simply about biology. It is about resonance. The emotions you carry shape the quality of that field, turning it into a magnet for joy, abundance, fear, or despair. Have you ever noticed how one person enters a room and suddenly everyone feels lighter, while another arrives and the entire atmosphere becomes heavy? That is not chance. That is the language of the heart, speaking silently to everything around it. Consider this. The World Health Organization has reported that over 280 million people suffer from depression, and global anxiety rates continue to rise every year. Yet in studies by the HeartMath Institute, people who learn to focus on feelings of gratitude, compassion, or love experienced a measurable synchronization between heart and brain, reducing stress hormones by almost 25% in just weeks. Imagine that, an invisible adjustment inside you, triggered not by controlling thousands of random thoughts, but by intentionally choosing one deep feeling. Does this not suggest that our true power is not in the endless battle of thoughts, but in the mastery of emotions? Think about your own life. How many times have you repeated affirmations or tried to think positively, only to feel as if nothing really changed? That is because the adversary cannot be defeated by thought alone. It hides beneath the surface in the emotional layers that fuel every choice. A person may repeat, "I am successful," 1,000 times, but if deep inside they feel unworthy, their heart radiates unworthiness louder than their mind's words, and the world responds, not to the words but to the frequency. What if your emotions are not random, but keys? Each feeling opens or closes doors in your subconscious. Joy opens the door to creativity. Gratitude opens the door to abundance. Love opens the door to connection. Fear, guilt, and shame close those doors, locking you in a cycle of repetition. Which keys have you been using most often without even realizing? Pause and think. What if the greatest battle you face is not about silencing negative thoughts, but about elevating the emotions that fuel your life? Stories across history illustrate this truth. When Nelson Mandela was imprisoned for 27 years, he later revealed that bitterness and anger would have destroyed him if he had let them dominate his heart. Instead, he cultivated forgiveness and vision, and when he finally walked free, he became not only a leader, but a symbol of transformation. He could have let the adversary of hatred define him, but by shifting the feeling within, he changed the destiny of a nation. And what about Viktor Frankl, the psychiatrist who survived concentration camps during the Holocaust? He observed that those who endured were not always the strongest physically, but those who found meaning in their suffering, who held feelings of hope even in hell. These examples show us that it is not the outside conditions that define us, but the inner frequency we allow ourselves to live in. Do you see the pattern now? Every time you enter an environment filled with negativity, gossip, or fear, you can feel your energy drop. And every time you are near people who radiate joy or certainty, you feel lifted, even without words. Scientists call this emotional contagion, but mystics knew it long before. The energy of one heart can affect the entire field of another. So the real question is, what kind of field are you building around yourself? One that attracts scarcity or one that draws abundance? Here is a fact that may surprise you. Researchers at Harvard found that people who regularly practice gratitude sleep better, experience fewer aches, and feel healthier overall. Another study showed that those who wrote down 3 good things each day increased their happiness levels by more than 25% in just a few months. If something so simple can create measurable shifts, imagine what would happen if you cultivated feelings of power, confidence, and deep peace every single day. Would the adversary still have the same strength to whisper doubt in your ear? Reflect on this with honesty. Are your daily environments lifting you or draining you? How many times have you allowed the heaviness of a single conversation or a single room to steal your energy for an entire day? What if success is not about doing more, but about protecting and guiding the feelings you allow inside your heart? Think of a time when you walked into a space where people were celebrating, laughing, truly alive. Did you not feel an instant elevation, as if your heart started to beat in harmony with the rhythm of that joy? That is the hidden force at work. The same power that can drag you down can also lift you higher if you consciously choose where to place your attention. The adversary will always try to keep you focused on the noise of fear and guilt. But what happens when you turn your attention to feelings of beauty, compassion, or trust? Suddenly, the whispers grow weaker, and the path ahead becomes clear. This is why every tradition has emphasized rituals of the heart: prayers, music, community, gratitude, because they recalibrate your inner frequency, aligning it with the destiny you were meant to live. Pause here and ask yourself, what simple practice could you begin today that would shift your feelings? Not just your thoughts. Is it gratitude? Is it forgiveness? Is it time in nature? Whatever it is, that practice is not small. It is the lever that can move your entire reality. Now let us move forward into another hidden truth. Protecting your emotions is not a luxury. It is survival for your soul. People of success do not simply work harder. They guard their hearts fiercely. They avoid toxic voices. They withdraw from draining places. They select carefully who they let into their circle. Why? Because they know that one poisoned feeling can undo months of growth. The adversary thrives in environments heavy with negativity. If you want to weaken its power, you must weaken its home. Where does the adversary live in your life right now? Which spaces, which voices, which patterns allow it to feed? Imagine your life if you began to treat your emotions as sacred energy, worthy of protection. Would you still waste hours listening to complaints? Would you still let the words of people who do not believe in you echo in your heart? Or would you begin to build a sanctuary around yourself, one where your feelings could remain strong, elevated, aligned with your true path? Here's the secret. Abundance is not about chasing. It is about aligning. When your heart resonates with feelings of worthiness and gratitude, opportunities begin to appear almost effortlessly. You meet the right people. The right doors open, the right ideas arrive at the right time. People call it coincidence, but deep inside, you will know it is resonance. And yet, the adversary will not simply vanish. It will continue to test you. Every new level brings new resistance. But by now, you understand the pattern. Fear is a signpost. Doubt is a marker. Guilt is a mirror. They are not here to destroy you. They are signals reminding you that you are close to growth. What once made you retreat will soon become the very sign that you must keep moving forward. So, as you listen to these words, feel them not as theory, but as a call. Your heart is already speaking louder than your doubts. And if you choose to protect, nurture, and elevate your emotions, you will carry within you the most powerful weapon against the adversary, the force of a heart aligned with truth. Stay with me, because the next revelation will take us even deeper into the core of how these emotions activate hidden abilities, ancient potentials, and the extraordinary strength that has been sleeping inside you since the day you were born. You have now walked through a journey that was never about theories or distant philosophies, but about the living reality of your own inner world. At every step, we uncovered the patterns of the adversary, the whispers of fear and doubt, the shadow that rises not when you are far from victory, but when you are closest to it. We saw that this resistance is not a curse, but a signal, a proof that transformation is near. And we revealed the truth that your greatest weapon is not the endless battle of thoughts, but the radiant force of your heart, a force that shapes your energy, your choices, and your destiny. Now it is time to bring this knowledge down from the abstract into the concrete. It is time to act. The first step is awareness. You cannot fight an enemy you do not see. From this moment on, I ask you to pay attention to the exact times when hesitation, fear, or guilt rise inside you. Do not run from them. Instead, Recognize them as the voice of the adversary. Each time you hear those whispers, say to yourself, "This is the sign that I am close." By changing the meaning of resistance, you transform fear from a chain into a compass. The second step is emotional alignment. Remember, your heart's frequency is stronger than your thoughts. This means that every day you must dedicate time to cultivate feelings that elevate you. Begin with something simple, 3 minutes in the morning and 3 minutes at night, focusing only on gratitude. Think of one thing you appreciate deeply and feel it with intensity, as if you are living it right now. This small practice begins to reprogram your emotional field. Over time, you can add music, prayer, meditation, or simple acts of kindness that lift your heart. The goal is not perfection, but consistency. A few minutes each day are enough to create lasting change. The third step is protection. Guard your heart as you would guard your most precious treasure. Look carefully at the environments and people you allow near your energy. If a place drains you, reduce your presence there. If a voice constantly spreads fear, distance yourself from it. Protect your feelings with the same seriousness you protect your body from harm. Remember that one toxic emotion, allowed to repeat daily, can undo weeks of progress. But one uplifting emotion, cultivated with intention, can break cycles that have lasted years. The fourth step is expression. Do not let your emotions remain trapped inside. Write them down, share them with someone you trust, or turn them into creative acts. When you bring emotions into light, they lose their power to control you. A journal can be a powerful ally here. Every night, write what you felt that day, what lifted you, and what tried to pull you down. This act alone makes you more conscious and less reactive, allowing you to grow stronger each day. The fifth step is integration. The adversary will not disappear completely, and that is not the goal. Its presence is a reminder of your humanity, your complexity, and your growth. The goal is to learn to walk with it without obeying it. When fear rises, thank it for trying to protect you, then choose courage anyway. When doubt appears, listen, but then move forward regardless. This integration transforms the adversary from an enemy into a silent teacher, one that challenges you but also sharpens you. The sixth step is action. None of this matters if it remains only as reflection. The true transformation begins when you apply these lessons to real decisions. That call you have been avoiding? Make it. That project you have been delaying? Start it. That healing conversation you fear having? Speak. Every step you take while the adversary whispers is a victory. And with each victory, the whisper grows weaker, while your destiny grows louder. Now pause and imagine what your life would look like if you lived by these steps. What doors would open if you stopped retreating? What relationships would heal if you cultivated higher emotions? What abundance would arrive if your heart radiated worthiness instead of fear? Do not see this as distant. It is not a dream. It is a choice waiting for your decision. The journey ahead is yours alone, but you are not alone in the path. This channel is a space created for seekers like you, people who know that there is more within them than what the adversary allows them to see. By subscribing, liking, and commenting, you are not just supporting a video. You are declaring that you choose growth over fear, light over shadow, action over hesitation. So here is my invitation. If these words touched you, if they sparked even one moment of recognition, do not let the adversary whisper, do it later. Act now. Click subscribe and join this community of chosen seekers. Press like so that this message reaches more souls who need it. And in the comments, share your reflections, your questions, or your personal story. If you prefer, do it anonymously. Your honesty matters more than your name. Write what you feel because your words may be the light someone else was waiting to see. This is the end of this video, but not the end of your journey. The adversary will rise again, but now you will know its face. And more importantly, you will know your own strength. Carry these lessons with you, apply them daily, and step forward with courage. The door is waiting, the key is in your hand, and the future you desire is only one decision away. The next move belongs to you.